Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud in which belief in the success of a non-existent enterprises is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors. We can clearly say that Ponzi scheme is an investment plan built on treachery and lies. The Eagle is here again with educative and enlightenment materials for your viewing pleasure. Stay with us, as today our focus of discussion is Ponzi scam, a danger to investment. But before then, Abbas and Amina are on standby to bring to you the EFCC news of the week. My name is Aisha Muhammad. Welcome to the program and Ramadan Mubarak to our Muslim viewers.
Hello out there. My name is Abdurrashid Bawa. I'm the Executive Chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The fight against corruption is our collective responsibility. I therefore urge you to please put in your best and help the EFCC achieve its mandate of ridding Nigeria of economic and financial crimes. Together, we can win the fight, and we will win the fight.
From the News Corner, President Muhammadu Buhari commended the excellent performance of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) under the leadership of Abdurrashid Bawa in securing 2,220 convictions and recovering over 152 billion naira and $285 million in 1 year. The president, who spoke at the unveiling of the EFCC standard operating procedures, policies and manuals at the State House Abuja, noted that the documents were in line with his administration's vision to institutionalize the fight against corruption. Abbas Abubakar Umar tells us more.
President Muhammadu Buhari stated that the war against corruption, which is one of the cardinal objectives of his administration, is being strengthened through the institutionalization of operational procedures, particularly as they form the building blocks of transparency and accountability in administration and public expenditure. He advised ministries, departments, and agencies of government, especially law enforcement agencies, which were yet to standardize their processes to emulate the EFCC.
Let me start by congratulating the entire board, management, and staff of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, especially the Executive Chairman, for the feat achieved in developing 26 standard operating procedures and 25 policies and manuals for the departments, units, and staff of the Commission. I understand from your remarks, Mr. Chairman, that these are the first collection of policy documents ever developed in the 18 years of the Commission's existence, aimed at defining the institutional rules and operational guidelines while instituting uniformity in standards, improving efficiency, and removing discretion from your operations. These are indeed remarkable achievements and are very commendable. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad to note that the war against corruption, which is one of the cardinal objectives of this administration, is being strengthened through the institutionalization of operational procedures, particularly as they form the building blocks of transparency and accountability in administration and public expenditure.
While pledging his administration's commitment to ensure the sustainability of initiatives already commenced in actualizing a vision of a corrupt-free society, President Buhari charged the EFCC to avoid being used for partisan politics or get dragged into personal disputes. Earlier in his opening remarks, EFCC Chairman Abdurrashid Bawa said the unveiling of the 26 standard operating procedures and 25 policies and manuals of the Commission were in fulfillment of the pledge he made at his screening before the National Assembly to discourage discretion in the work of the Commission by standardizing its processes and procedures. Bawa explained that with the policies and manuals, the Commission now boasts of a unique DNA as all personnel knew what is expected of them per time.
And I recall a year ago, precisely on the 24th of February 2021, Your Excellency, when I appeared before the Nigerian Senate for my confirmation screening, I pledged to strengthen the institutional framework of the EFCC, including elimination of discretion in its operation. I said on that occasion, Your Excellency, and permit me to quote, that we are looking forward for an EFCC where, as the executive chairman, if I issued a directive to a junior officer, he will look me in the face and say, "Sir, I understand your instruction, but I cannot carry it out because it is contrary to our policies or standard operational procedure." And in keeping with that commitment, Your Excellency, I'm delighted to inform you this morning that we have laid the building blocks for principles, standards, and best practices for the cosmopolitan agency that the EFCC is, an agency aimed at achieving effective and sustainable organizational efficiency, one that is fully poised to take on the challenges of fighting corruption. It comes in the form of standard operating procedures, policies, manuals that will guide the Commission's processes, systems, and activities.
Bawa disclosed that the policies and manuals were in tandem with the strategic vision of the Commission as contained in the EFCC Strategic Plan 2021 to 2025. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for the Eagle.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, has called on members of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC to serve as change agents by shunning all acts of corruption and economic and financial crimes. He gave the charge in Lagos State while addressing corps members at the NYSC Orientation Camp at Iyanokpaja, Lagos. Amina Kawa has the details.
Bawa spoke through head Public Affairs Directorate of the EFCC in the Lagos Zonal Command, Ayo Oyewole, and urged the corps members to make positive impact in their primary places of assignment. He added that it is no use lamenting that things are not right in the country, but rather the youth should be patriotic enough to have faith in Nigeria and do the right thing.
There is an overwhelming convergence of opinion that corruption is at the intersection of our nation's development. Corruption is the reason our country is being touted as a potentially great nation, despite its rich natural and human resources endowment. The resources that should have delivered the good life to the majority of all our people have been cornered by the rebellious elite in the corridor of power. It was in the realization of this fact and the fact that the future of the country might be endangered if we allow corruption to continue, that some people are advocating for a generational change or shift in power. That you, the youth, should take over the power and the reins of government in this country. Because the underlying assumption is that the youth remains the catalyst to the fight against corruption. And the youth are the people that will give us the desired change when it comes to redeveloping or redirecting the course of the nation.
Also speaking in Kwara State, Bawa enjoined corps members to join the commission in its efforts to rid the country of corruption by becoming anti-graft foot soldiers in any place they find themselves, especially in their places of primary assignment. He said that they can blow the whistle by reporting acts that fail the simple test of integrity instead of lamenting that things are not right with the country. His admonition was contained in a message entitled EFCC and the Role of Youth in Curbing Cybercrime, delivered on his behalf by Head Public Affairs Department of the Ilorin Zonal Command of the Commission, Ayodeleba Batundi, for the 2022 Batch A Stream 2 Corps members at the National Youth Service Corps NYSC Orientation Camp, Yikpata, Edu Local Government Area, Kwara State. While urging the youth to imbibe the virtue of integrity and hard work, the EFCC boss reminded them that there is no shortcut to wealth and fame. In Delta State, Bawa charged corps members to be good example in conduct and character if they are to actualize their dreams as future leaders. The EFCC boss stated this at the National Youth Service Corps Orientation Camp, Iselu Oku, Delta State. The EFCC boss was represented there by the head of public affairs, Benin Zonal Command, Williams Oshegel. He urged the corps members to shun acts of corruption and economic crimes. The fact that the rate of unemployment is high should not be an excuse to resort to crime. Acts of criminality might deliver wealth in short term, but ultimately there will be misery and gnashing of teeth. Similar messages were presented at orientation camps across the country. Amina Kawa reporting for The Eagle.
Next is a conviction report. Stay tuned.
Mother of an internet fraudster, Dibest Osabiwense, has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment by Justice M.S. Shoaibu of the Federal High Court sitting in Benin City. The Best was arraigned by the Benin Zonal Command of the Commission on a one-count charge for aiding her son to receive the sum of over 91 million naira proceeds of his criminal activities. Upon arraignment, the defendant pleaded guilty. In view of her plea, the prosecution counsel I.K. Agwai pressed the court to convict and sentence her accordingly. Justice Shoaib convicted and sentenced the defendant to 5 years imprisonment with an option of 1 million naira fine. She is also to forfeit the balance in her bank account to the federal government of Nigeria. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for The Eagle.
Oprah Winfrey said, and I quote, "I believe the choice to become a mother is the choice to become one of the greatest spiritual teachers there is." This quote has summed it up. Mothers are the first teachers to the children, and as such, a lot is expected from them. It is our hope that parents, teachers, and the society at large will help in molding the future leaders. They count and look up to everyone. Let's do the right thing, always. The words of Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, rings true. As an investor, the first rule is never lose money. The second rule is never forget the first rule. It is the desire of every investor or worker to have their resources increased or multiplied. One way to do this is through investment. People get interested in businesses that promise to bring in quick returns on investment. By so doing, some have fallen into the hands of some Ponzi scammers. Ponzi scheme gets its name from the originator of the scheme, Charles Ponzi, who committed mail fraud in the United States Postal Services from 1919 to 1920. He did not last long in his business. On August 12, 1920, Charles Ponzi was arrested by the federal authorities and charged with several counts of mail fraud. Since then, the scheme has been concocted in different forms and many people have lost money to it in hundreds, thousands, millions, and billions of different currencies. Is Ponzi scheme itself a crime? If it is, how? How does it affect people? What should we do about the scheme? The answers coming up in this chat with our guest of the week, and Ojo Chukutami Eche.
Today we're going to talk about Ponzi scheme and how dangerous it is to investment. And with me in the studio today is David Ngbe. He's the Chief Superintendent of the EFCC and Head Economic Governance Section of the Ibadan Zonal Command of the Commission. David, welcome on the program.
Pleasure, smile.
Now we're talking Ponzi scheme. You know, it's everywhere these days. A lot of people are into it. Some people are crying, some are smiling, and then you begin to wonder what exactly is Ponzi scheme. So tell us, David, what is a Ponzi scheme?
In its simplest form, Ponzi scheme is essentially an investment scam that promises to pay returns on investments, where earlier investors are paid from the contributions of later investors, operating largely on the principle of robbing Peter to pay Paul. In other words, the Ponzi schemer does not have any verifiable business model, but lure people with huge returns on investment. Ponzi scheme is actually named after the 1920s infamous mastermind of that genre of crime because of the sheer amount of money he scammed from the people in the United States.
From what you have said, I mean, the scheme is a red alert against investment. Now, what other red alerts should I look for if I want to invest my money, so that if someone approaches me and says, Ojo Chukutami, this is a very good investment platform, come and do this, what are those things I should look out for so I don't fall victim to Ponzi scheme?
The first is that Ponzi schemers prey on the greed of their would-be victims. And so they promise abnormally high returns on investment without any risk at all.
Example?
You realize that you're asked to bring 10,000 naira, and that in 24 hours or 48 hours, you turn around that money and generate probably half of it, or even 100% on that on that fund. And so that is the first red alert, because in every investment model, of course, the market investment gyrates. In other words, the investment world is one in which prices go up and down. But the Ponzi schemer does not provide for a situation where there will be a loss, because it's not actually investing these funds. It's simply generating money from people who join that scheme and then using their resources to pay earlier investors, just to encourage others to. Every business model must have risks, but the Ponzi scheme is one in which you have guaranteed return on investment, including your capital. So at the end of the day, you're going to lose all. But the idea is to put this smooth screen, as it were, pretend that you're not going to lose anything.
Okay, David, I go around and I hear people say lots of good things about the Ponzi scheme, maybe because they are gaining for the time being. And then some people are losing, a lot of people are losing. Yet, when new schemers come out to introduce people, they would be victims, still fall for this, the tricks. Why do people keep falling every now and then? What's responsible for that?
The first is a social-cultural value that emphasizes wealth and the get-rich-quick syndrome. People are interested in making money as fast as possible without corresponding effort for work. And so if you're greedy, if you're foolish, if you're ignorant, the schemer take advantage of all of this to prey on the victims. And so it's successful because recruitment into the scheme is through close relative, family members, friends. Today they use celebrity stars so that followers of those stars of course are lured into joining those schemes.
David, before I let you go, I'm sure you have a word or two for the Ponzi schemers, for would-be investors and all that. So what do you have to say?
Watch out, investigate those who you want to invest your money with. Ensure that they have a regulatory license to engage in those activities. The Investment and Securities Act 2007 in Nigeria is a guiding regulation that no one can or should invite deposits from the public, whether to make investment or generate interest without a license.
Well, as rightly heard from the interview segment, we should always do the right thing and we should always look out before investing our resources. You're watching The Eagle, coming to you from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Here we discuss the effects of the monster called corruption and the way out of it. On today's edition, we've been discussing Ponzi scam, a danger to investment. Many people have said have sad stories to tell about their experiences with Ponzi scheme scammers. But every now and then, the scheme pops up and people still fall for it. Our correspondent Usaina Abubakar went to the streets to ask if people who have been defrauded by Ponzi scammers will still go ahead with the scheme if presented with the same scenario. Here is what they have to say.
Investment scam is a scam that covers promises of big payout, quick money gain, or return on investment guaranteed by the so-called financial institution. It is obvious that a lot of people fall victims to investment scam after hearing the high return involved with the little or no risk at all. The Eagle team is here on the street of Abuja to find out or to ask question: if you lost money to fake Ponzi scheme and someone introduces you to another one, what will you do?
Actually, me in person, I don't even used to believe in all those online stuff. But right now, you know, some people are just scammers. Because of those scammers, some other people will now introduce you to another one, after which they have scammed you. So if it were me, actually, I won't immediately as that person introduced me to that stuff, I will now take him to EFCC, maybe get their contact, maybe ICPC or EFCC or the bank that, you know, definitely they will send a bank account number. So what I used to do is I will take that account number with his account number and now give it to the bank. You understand? The bank that you used to give me.
I think the first time I have to be wise, because the way the country is now is not something that you have when someone has introduced you to such thing which is fraudulent or fraud. In such case, in our country where we are now, you just have to wise up and, you know, open your second mind. Just like yesterday, somebody sent me a message that he has a job in Egypt, which I looked at it. He even called my name, particular like he called my name. I was like, who are these people? And the next day he said I should come for a job and all that. Then I discovered that these people, they are in a house, one room together, like making this call, which they know me. So you understand that this is a fraud. If you have a job in Egypt, that means there's no need of, if you are not employed, somebody will not just call you like that and say you have a job, and that is just it. So I think when you have gone through such thing, you have to be wise.
For me, I think people are over dreaming, or I would say on their own. They don't like to work hard and get things done on their own. They just want fast money, and that's why when you want fast money, you are close to being duped at all time, because something you are not seeing, you don't even know how the money will multiply or how it will to turn out to be. Somebody tell you, oh, bring 10,000, you will get 3,000 in the next 1 hour, 2 hours. For you, within yourself, you should know that it's not even achievable. For instance, people that goes to work every day, before people that do salary work, on a daily basis, they know how much they earn and how much hour and energy they've put in. So how on earth will somebody approach you and bring so amount of money and less than so hour, you are going to get? That person himself needs to question his or her conscience and think that, am I doing the right thing? Even if actually I got this money, I've actually deserved to get this money in the right way. And of course, doing so, you will be pushing yourself into problem.
Well, you all heard what they had to say. The power to resist lies in our hands. It is up to us to use it. But be careful. When people tell you they can do practically everything for you, watch out when people promise you unrealistic returns for your savings. You may be plunging into the jaws of some fraudsters who could be taking advantage of the economic situation to take the little you have from you. As for criminals who perpetrate scam using investment as a face, think of many heartaches you have caused fellow human beings. Think of the destruction you are bringing on Nigeria's economy. Remember that your loved ones are also in the system, and whatever you do affects them too. Desist and resist the urge to scam people. Resist being involved in any form of economic and financial crimes. Now, EFCC is always watching and could be on your trail. They will surely get you anywhere, anytime. And that concludes our program for the day. We will be back next week, same time, same station. Don't forget to keep a date with us. But before we go, here is a reminder that you can send an email to info@efcc.gov.ng and can speak to our officers or representatives on 0809 3322 644 and follow us on all our social media platforms at official EFCC for matters relating to economic and financial crimes. Only if you see fraud happening, use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle Eye. Download the app, follow the steps, and report fraud on the go. You can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. My name is Aisha Mohammed. I'm leaving you with this parting words that says, all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talent. Let's strive to do the right thing and be better citizens. Please do stay safe, be kind to one another, and enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye and God bless Nigeria.